Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Philly Needs a Friend show. I'm your host, Phil Drummond, and this episode was actually supposed to come out last week. I think we recorded it about 2 weeks ago, but, I'm still trying to get into the swing of doing this and staying on top of it. It's a new endeavor, so sometimes it's hard to get the motivation to keep doing it. Anyways, today's guest is Jimmy Bones. He's a phenomenal rapper, a great guy, and a really close friend of mine that I've met through music. So I think that's pretty cool. And we have a great conversation talking about, his journey through life and music and just overall everything. And yeah, it's really, really cool conversation. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how I did, how I could improve, everything like that. I'd really appreciate any feedback that you could give to me. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. All right, and we're live. Jimmy Bones, how you doing, brother?
What up? I'm I'm blessed to be here, man. Very
Hell yeah.
blessed. Dude, this is my first interview, and it is so fitting that it's with you. Um, it's been a long time coming, and thanks for having me, man. I've been on a bit of a hiatus lately, so
Yeah, of course, man. I'm glad to have you.
it'll be nice to give people some content, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, well, since we've been talking about setting this up and everything, we were talking about
hmm
when we first met. So I remember we were both on, how we originally met, like through the internet, was we were both on the Odious Detriment tape with Iodine P. We were both featured on that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
from
we
there,
were.
we followed each other and we started talking all the time on there. And then,
hmm
remember we had that show at Cafe 611, and
Yeah.
you fucking showed up with a sword to gift to us. That was awesome.
If that's hell of an icebreaker right there.
Right?
That was
I
I
remember
I
you
was
didn't bring
like
it into the venue, you like stashed it on the side of the venue.
like it was fucking drugs or some shit. And I'm drunk. I'm already drunk as fuck, like going into this, like because back then, you know how I was back
uh,
then. And it wasn't like a far walk from where I lived on South Street,
right.
or South Bends, and I was just like, how am I gonna explain this if somebody pulls me over?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I
'Cause-
don't I don't think I was like stumbling drunk, but I was like making reckless decisions drunk. So
and carrying a sword around.
oh man, and I was like, oh fuck, I can't bring it in the venue because of course they're that's a one-way ticket to fucking jail.
Right.
So I like you said, I stashed it in between a couple buildings, and we've been thick as thieves ever since.
Yeah, that was awesome. We still have it in our studio too.
That's awesome. That's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah, that was that was hilarious. That was awesome. Um, so yeah, I wanted to, I guess, start with just go through your whole story of everything. So I guess start out with like when you were a kid and how was life when you growing up and everything like that.
So growing up, I was we were like in the how there's like upper middle class and lower middle class.
Mm,
Like I feel like we were at the middle of middle class. And I mean, if we were lower middle class, like I wouldn't have known it
right.
because I was spoiled rotten as a kid. Had lots and lots and lots of toys to the point to where like it was literally impossible to keep my room clean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was born I was born in Maryland. I was born in it was some hospital in Montgomery County. I think I, I forget what my birth certificate says, but it's somewhere in
Yeah,
Montgomery
yeah.
County. And my earliest memories were in PG County, Bowie, Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and hmm, I, I I didn't really have a whole lot of friends.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, at least not friends that I could keep because I was such a spaz. Like I had a really bad ADHD, um, and they were still learning how to properly diagnose and treat it. You know, of
Mm-hmm.
course, like I was uh, I was given ADHD medication at a very young age, and um, you know, I had a very vivid imagination. I loved Legos. I loved to
Mm-hmm.
draw.
That's what I
You
was about
know,
to ask. What kind of like things were you into? If you said you didn't have many friends, were you like just chilling inside? Were you like a video game kid or?
yeah, I had so my first video game system was actually the original Nintendo, believe it or not.
Damn.
Yeah, I had the OG Nintendo. Like, I don't know if you, I don't,
I
I
never
think
had that one.
you're
My first one was Super Nintendo.
okay.
But I
Yeah,
think I am a few years younger than you.
yeah, yeah. I'm 30 now, and you're
I'm
28.
26.
Oh, you're 26. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. Um, so yeah, like, and then that went into like the PlayStation and then the PlayStation 2. And you know, I was into video games. I was never very good at them
Yeah.
just because like I feel like certain video, like I remember I would try to play Final Fantasy and I just didn't understand how it fucking worked.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the art and I loved like the concept and shit, but
That's how
just
Kingdom Hearts is my
couldn't for
favorite
the
game, but I was fucking terrible at it.
yeah.
But I loved it so much. I still do, but I've never beaten a single one or anything.
Right, right. And so I was you know, I was an ADHD kid, and then you know, in middle school, like I kind of, you know, I developed some maybe some depression, anxiety type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that you know manifested itself into like disciplinary problems, like not listening to the teachers or sleeping during class, and
Yeah, just getting in a little bit of trouble.
yeah, and then I ended up in two different special schools because of it.
Mm.
One of them was called Heather Ridge, and the other one was called the Jefferson School. And the Jefferson School was through Shepherd Pratt, which is
Oh, okay.
like a mental hospital
Mm.
type of deal. And I think they've been shut down now because of like allegations of abuse.
Right.
But and from there, when I was 14, and this isn't like a slight against my mother or anything, like
Mm-hmm.
she was, you know, with respect to her privacy, she was dealing with some mental things herself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
raising a son on her own, and you know, losing a very a long term position at a company,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and which eventually led to us having our house foreclosed on us.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, we just bounced from place to place until I was 16. And then I ended up in foster care because unfortunately she had her own things that she had to deal with. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, she couldn't take care of me at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
How long were you in that? Was that till you were 18?
Believe it or not, I was in that until I was 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah, that's when I had started getting into like drugs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, well, no, I first started kind of fiddle faddle fucking around with like a little bit of pot and maybe
Right.
like some miscellaneous drinking and
Mm-hmm.
in high school, but nothing like I wasn't using anything addictively except for cigarettes, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
you said she was a single mom. Was your dad around at all? When you were younger or anything?
no.
No. So
Um.
just single parent the whole way?
So so my mother raised for the first, well, throughout my formative years, really, raised me in conjunction with my grandparents,
Oh, okay.
on my mother's side.
Mm.
Um, I've never met my father as a kid or a man. I think he was around until I was about a year old, and then
Mm.
I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard from him or about him in
Oh, okay.
ever. So
Um, do you keep in touch with your mom at all still?
I
After
do.
going to foster care, you still kept in touch with her?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've always kept in touch. Just we've always just kind of been in different places in our lives,
Mm.
and she's doing really good, and she's working and helping to take care of my grandfather, and my grandfather's helping to take care of her, and
Right.
um
That's cool. That's good.
yeah, they live together in West Virginia, and um but yeah, we just found out early on that it was not a good idea for us to live together.
Right.
So, but we've always visited and been in touch on the phone and
Mm.
stuff like that.
That's cool. That's cool. Um,
Mm.
so where throughout that did you start like finding music? Have you always
So
been into music?
no, uh, so when I was in high school, I started really getting into music, and
What were you listening to back
my mom,
then?
it if so my mom had like this huge selection of CDs. Like
Mm.
we would she had like crazy fucking music, man, and like she would have like soundtracks for movies, and like the two people like I really that really like formed my like what I base all of the music I listen to on now was Rob Zombie and Eminem. That's
Mm-hmm.
which are complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it started for me. And then in high school, a lot of people were into rap music,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think what drew me to it first was like I was fascinated by how people dressed that were in
Yeah.
that culture, and um, my mom couldn't stand it because I started wanting to dress like that, and
Mm-hmm.
you
What?
know,
How were rappers dressing back then? Was that like the baggy T-shirt days and stuff?
tall tees, sweatpants, hats turned to the side.
I still want to bring that shit back.
I still wear shit like that. I don't wear tall tees anymore, but and I don't necessarily wear baggy pants. I just don't wear like skinny jeans.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think I have one pair of skinny jeans in my closet right now,
Oh, I can't wear them at
that I
all.
just don't wear because they're just not comfortable.
Mm.
Like my nuts need fucking room to breathe, bro. Um, but I started getting into the Eminem and the 50 Cent and all the other. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
the Eminem and the 50 Cent, and then later in my teenage years, I found out about ICP, and that just led me on a completely different path. And
Mm-hmm.
I started getting into ICP, Tech Nine, Cottonmouth Kings, like the shit. Like the scrubby white boys were fucking sitting in the fucking basement taking bong rips and smoking
Uh-huh.
Newports too, back in the early 2000s.
Right.
You know, and I I think I think I was about 13 when I actually really wanted to for myself wanted to start like making rap songs.
Before
But
that, were you
I
like,
didn't.
were you rapping along to the stuff you were listening to and stuff like that, though?
Yeah, yeah. And I was like writing the lyrics down and like switching words out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, like at that at that age, I was pretty naive, and I thought that was me writing raps.
Right.
But yeah, I was like I said, I was a fucking idiot when I was a kid. Um, I didn't actually start making music for myself until I was in my 20s.
Did you Had you been writing before then? Like, did you start writing your own stuff earlier than that? Or is
Yeah.
20s when you really just were like, all right, I'm going to actually try to do this?
Actually, I take that back. So the first time I actually recorded my own songs was when I was 16 or 17. Me and my buddy Vincent,
Hmm.
who goes by Feature now, longtime friend, longtime
Is he
brother.
still
If you're
making music
watching
too?
this, miss you, brother. I'm sorry.
He's still making music too?
Yeah,
Oh, hell
yeah,
yeah, that's
he
awesome.
definitely is. I think he's more into real estate right now, but yeah, he's always been he's always been making
Hmm.
music off and on. Uh, so me and my buddy Vince got a couple of like microphones from like Staples, like headphones, like with the mic on it,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like what you're wearing
Uh huh.
now. Probably better. You probably have something that's a lot better quality though. And
Well,
we
this is
recorded a
separate,
song
but
called. I'm sorry.
this is separate. This is like a mic, and then the headphones are a separate thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his we found like a beat on something called back in the day they had SoundClick.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's still a thing anymore.
I don't think it is
Uh
anymore, but that was like SoundCloud before SoundCloud, pretty much. I feel like.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you could get like beats for free and shit, like for
Hmm.
free download. And yeah, he he got me on this beat and we made a song called Hustle, and it was hokey as fuck. Like neither of us knew what we were doing.
Yeah, of
And
course.
but that would little did I know that would be the beginning of a very long journey. And
Hmm.
just on a sidebar, I'm terrible at fucking telling stories, but I'm trying my best to recollect these things. So for the audience listening, sorry for all the long pauses and shit. I've drank so much that there are holes in my brain where my fucking memories used to be. So bear with me. Uh, but yeah, that's when I first started. And then I would I was like I said, I went into foster care when I was like 16, and I was moving back and forth, and going to all these different places. So it was kind of hard for me to focus on music, and I didn't actually get into it, into like, taking it seriously or anything like that,
Yeah.
until 2014. I
How old
think
were you then?
2014, let's see, I think I was like 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah,
Were you so were you writing at all in those times when you were moving around, or you weren't?
off and on,
Yeah.
off and on. Um, it took me a while to actually learn how to write in bars. Like I'm a
Mhm.
really, really slow learner, and I was kind of, and it was always, and even to this day, it's kind of hard for me to write with the beat on.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I
I mean, we've talked about this before. I know your process is more you write the song without the beat, and then you go find the beat or have somebody send you a beat or whatever, and then you find something that you wrote to fit the beat. Is that like your process?
so I'll listen to the beat and I'll turn it off and I'll write, and then so many lines in, I'll turn the beat on and I'll, see if what I'm writing fits.
And then if
And
you have to
then,
like cut words or anything or add syllables or
yeah,
stuff, do it from there.
mhm.
That's pretty cool. That's an interesting process.
Yeah, I have, I think everybody has a process that's specific to them.
Right. Yeah. Um. So around 22, 23, that's when was that when you were doing what was it? It was the Hagas. Hagas, was that what it was called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Book of Haggis.
Book of Haggis, that's what it
Uh,
was.
yeah, that I did with my good friend Daryl, brother, really. All of these people I call friends, I really look at as brothers.
Mm.
But me and him found each other living on the same street in Hagerstown, and we were just drinking and shit, and he showed me something, a beat and a concept that he had been fucking around with, and there there was room for me on the song
Mm-hmm.
because I I I don't think there was room for me. I think I asked to be on the song. Like I often asked him to be on. I think that's actually how that album was created, was like he would show me something like, "Oh, I got to get on this. Oh, I got to get on this. Oh, I got to get on this."
Right. And then it just
And
turned into the album.
yeah, yeah. And he gave me a lot of creative control, and kind of let me steer it a little bit.
Right.
Or he it was you. I don't want to give away too much because that actually ended up leading to a falling out between us for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And then but yeah, it's probably one of my favorite things that I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really listen to it, like we captured lightning in a bottle, and I'm always eternally grateful for that.
Yeah, like capture the exact time period where you guys
Yeah.
were at that point.
Yeah, we started it in Hagerstown, and then we finished it in Braddock Heights, I believe.
I don't even
Or
know.
no, well, started it in Hagerstown,
Mm-hmm.
continued it in Braddock Heights, excuse me, and then finished it in Frederick.
Oh, okay. So by the time you
Yeah,
were finishing up, is that when you were living in Frederick?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's when me and my most recent ex had just gotten an apartment there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um. So I know. I mean, if it's cool to talk about your drinking and stuff.
Yeah,
How was
totally.
how were you doing at that point when you were making that? Was that just
Um, it was definitely problem drinking.
mm,
It was not the worst drinking I had ever done because I honestly didn't have the money for it, but it was definitely problem drinking, and I had already I already had a full habit.
mm.
You know what I mean? Um, like a full
Is that
blown
where it
habit.
formed while you were living in Hagerstown?
No, it formed in 2013 when I was the first real drug aside from nicotine that I got addicted to was spice, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people, I feel like people find that like when they're like on probation or something. And I found, there was this place in Frederick called the British Shop. That's what we called it, British goodies.
Mm-hmm.
They would sell like little bags of it and little and it had it, and it, at first it was really fun, to be
Right.
honest with you. Like the original formulas for it were really really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I actually did it was in 2011 at in Ybor City, Florida. So yeah, I did it at a hookah bar, and that was a fucking magical night. I know, like, it's so crazy now in 2022 to talk about like smoking spice and remember it fondly, but that was like that was the closest thing to fucking weed that I had ever smoked.
And it was cheap too.
That yeah, it was cheap as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
but and let me tell you that I did two things for the first time. I smoked spice for the first time, and I had four loco for the first time in fucking Florida.
Dangerous combo.
Um, yeah, it could have been.
Could have been. The
Yeah,
before they
but
changed
it
the
was
Four
fun.
Loco formula, that was cause remember
I think I think they changed that months, but probably within months of it first coming out. I don't think I had the kind with caffeine in it.
oh really? 'Cause I remember
Yeah.
drinking the ones with caffeine. I don't remember when that was, and I remember everybody talking about them changing it.
Um. So, but yeah, when I was making Book of Haggis, it was definitely getting worse.
Mm.
You know, but I was not at my worst yet. You know.
Were you seeing it as a problem at that point, or
Oh yeah,
oh, okay?
I saw it as a problem within the first year of me drinking heavily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was because I did it because I was trying to get off the spice, and I replaced it with weed and Four Loco, and it worked like a charm. And I to this day I don't regret, you know, switching from one to the other, because if I kept smoking spice I was gonna die.
Yeah.
I was smoking about 10 grams a day of that shit. Yeah. And the way the formula kept changing, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And
And a lot of
you
people
know,
were dying off
I was
that
stealing
shit.
this, and I was stealing to support that habit. So, yeah.
How did it progress from there? It just you replaced the spice with it, and then just started drinking more and more.
Yeah. It started in 2013, and didn't end until December of 2020.
And cause you went to
The drinking, the spice, I stopped in
right,
2013
cause you've been to rehab twice now,
three times.
3 times.
Once when I was 18, another time in 2019, and another time in 2020.
Which that was the most recent one.
Yeah.
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 How long have you been clean now? I know you told me the other day, but you know.
So I have not drank since December 14th. Well, December 10th was my last drink. December 14th is when I got off maintenance drugs. Um, so it's been over a year since I've had a drop of alcohol.
Hell yeah.
Uh, and I've been completely sober because I was completely sober for 9.5 months, and then I started smoking weed again when I moved back in with my brother, and then I ended up 2 weeks before I moved back out of my brother's house. I ended up quitting and then moving back into a sober home, which is where I'm at now.
Cool. Um, shit, I just had a question. What the hell was I gonna ask? Oh, yeah, I was just gonna ask how you're feeling. Has your like mentally, have you been feeling a lot better since you stopped?
Um,
It has its ups and
yeah.
downs, or
And there's definitely ups and downs, man.
mm,
There's you have to. It's like learning to write with a new hand.
mm,
You know, uh, it's you have to learn how to have bad days sober. That's a huge thing, and you have to learn how to take accountability for your own shit, because when we're drinking and drugging, we're blaming everyone and their mother and the fucking world on our problems,
mm,
and it doesn't serve anybody any, doesn't do anybody any good, especially yourself.
right,
I've dealt with death sober. I've dealt with I've I've I didn't necessarily go through a breakup sober, because that definitely, I wasn't sober for that, but
mm,
I've processed a breakup sober. It wasn't until I got sober I was able to actually like process some
right,
things. Uh, I've dealt with like friends, like really like long term, like people that I look at like a brother kind of, uh, cutting ties, like just anything bad you can imagine happening. You have to learn how to deal with that sober, and
right. You can't escape
thankfully a
from
lot
it.
of.
I mean, that's what. I
Hmm.
mean, that's how you get sucked into that. Is you something bad happens, you drink to not think about it.
Dude, my triggers began when the sun came up,
Mm-hmm.
when I opened my eyes in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
I would, I would drink because it was raining outside. I would drink because it's sunny outside. I was drinking because I was having a good day. I was drinking because I had a bad day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, yeah, man. I'm definitely like, it has definitely changed me in ways that, like, I've probably done damage to my body that may or may not ever heal. I've
Right.
done damage to my mind that may or may not ever heal. But I can tell you that I'm probably in the best health I've ever been in, um, mentally and physically. Uh, and I'm not scared that that my liver's gonna fail anymore. I don't have to worry about, losing my job, or so many of the problems that I had because of my drinking are just not there anymore. Like, I
Right.
still have problems,
Yeah, there's
you
always
know.
problems no matter what.
Yeah, but I do. So to answer your question in a less verbose way, I do feel better. I feel 150 fucking times better, man.
That's awesome.
And to anybody who, you know, give it a shot. I'm
Mm.
not trying to get anybody sober, but like, you know, I promise you, like if you think you might have a problem, and I think I've told you this same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the list of things that the the substance does to you is longer than the list of things that it does for you, then you should probably stop.
Right.
And if you can't stop by yourself, get some help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple avenues and ways you can go about that. But
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you, man. That's good. 'Cause I
thank
know
you.
you've been telling me you've been going to the gym, you've been working out and
Hmm.
everything like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really doing that, for two reasons. A, I want to look good without my shirt on, and B, I want to be able to deliver my lyrics better.
Oh,
And doing cardio helps with that.
right.
So
Having the breath control and
I
stuff.
do I do cardio every time I go to the gym.
What are you working on now?
Right now, aside from working on myself,
Right. I mean,
I have
musically, though, musically.
yeah, musically, I am in the process of writing and recording my new project. You knew what this was.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically going to be it's a follow up to the most egregious, which was my most recent released project.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely been a lot in the past 2 years that I really have to speak on, and you know dealing with grief and breakups and getting sober and then relapsing, and
Right.
loss of friendships and breadcrumbs and bed bugs. That's actually the name of one of my singles. So,
I like that.
and and it, I feel like this is gonna be like a really really important project for me, in that I'm finally as clear headed as I've ever been,
Right.
and because through the most egregious, I was the most sober I had been at that time
Mm-hmm.
making that project. But there were little sprinkles of me drinking here and there, because there were times that I was like sneaking alcohol from my ex and
Yeah.
shit. But at this point, like, I haven't had alcohol in over a year, and I really, really want to see what this mental clarity and me going to the gym, if that's actually like helping my delivery,
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah, and well, that's what I was gonna say is you're very your music's very well, one, lyrical, which I think having a clear mind could definitely help with that. But you're
Yeah,
also very honest in your music, which is something
very.
that I think me and you have always connected on that one. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so this
I'm
project's going to be a lot of that.
It's gonna be the most honest that I've ever been,
That's awesome.
and I'm gonna be taking a lot of account of it. It's that album is basically like a big step four for me,
Mm,
um, which is it's a searching and fearless moral inventory.
that's awesome.
And yeah, I don't know if whether or not I'm gonna release it in like several over the course of several EPs, or if I'm just gonna release one big, you know,
Mm,
like a
you have a
double
lot
album
written.
or some shit. I have 14 songs written for it so far.
Cool. And
Yeah. I've
um,
just because I've been like moving around and adjusting myself to the my new home.
mm,
Uh, I haven't really had the chance to properly record myself yet.
right.
I did I did a test run with my new setup and my new mic and everything like that. But and that was actually the first time I've ever used this. I think I showed you my blue mic when you came over that one time in Hagerstown.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, that was the other day was the first time I'd actually ever used it to record a song. Before that, it was my MXL that I was using.
Mm-hmm. Um, shit. What was I about to say?
We're doing great at this.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I've
I
had two
think
brain
this
farts,
is
but I think it's going pretty well.
yeah,
um,
no, like I think that, and for the people listening, is it do we is this an interview or a podcast or podcast slash interview vlog? What do we?
podcast
What's the
slash interview.
nomenclature that we're using here?
I'm not sure. I'm just calling it. It's called the Philly Needs a Friend show.
Billy needs a friend show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give this show its its room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like these conversations are just going to get better and better and better, you
Mm.
know, and trust and believe, bitches, I will be back.
Oh, definitely. When the
Several
album
times.
comes out, you have to come back.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
And
You know.
oh, that's another thing I was gonna say about your music. Like on the Most Egregious, which I love that
Hmm.
album, and I'm gonna put since that's your most recent one, I'm gonna put that in the description of the video and stuff.
Okay.
But you also, where you have the honest songs, you have to also have the songs like Karate in the Backyard, where you're just
Hmm.
having fun. I love that you do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of yeah, I actually have Daryl on the intro for that song. Uh,
Mm.
it was really fresh to, and we did that from different states. It was pretty fucking cool to have him on that.
Oh, you're
Uh,
already in Texas at when you guys did that one?
I didn't record it in Texas, but we recorded
The
so
intro
like
part?
yeah, like I think I sent him my parts and then he recorded his parts and then we sent it to my engineer
Mm.
and producer Soul, who lives in Rochester, New York.
Oh,
Shout out
okay.
to him, by the way. He's he's so fucking patient with me. Oh my god. He's a brilliant guy, but he's getting impatient with me.
um,
Yeah, because I keep promising him, I'm like, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna record, you know. And then like that what he also knows, like when I'm ready to record, he's just gonna get like this nonstop slew of fucking recordings. So
yeah, yeah.
and then I'll just stop for another year or two.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. With as long as I've known you, that's how you've always been. You're always telling me that you got something written, or if you're working on the next album, and it'll be a while of you just writing, and then out of
Yeah.
nowhere the album will be done, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, like I'm terrible about promoting my own shit. Like, cause I feel like, cause I remember when my music was in its infancy, like I would just come out and just say like, oh, I'm planning this and I'm planning that and I'm planning this. And then none of it would come to fruition. Like I would
right,
end up eating my words. So usually I just kind of, when it's done, I put it out.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just you're always telling me when you're writing, you'll be like, yeah, I got my whole next album written, but I haven't recorded any of it yet. And then it'll
Yeah.
be like a week, 2 weeks later, and it's out, and I'm like, oh, you got
Yeah.
the inspiration to record.
I remember I think I recorded Requiem for a Lush. I think I recorded most of the, if I remember correctly, I recorded that in like a little over a week.
Really?
I think if I remember that it wasn't long
Yeah.
because it was 10 songs.
Mm-hmm.
and I had already, yeah, I already had it written because I had went through a stint of sobriety and then just did a whole bunch of writing, and then
Right.
I got sober, and then I recorded a bunch, and then I got drunk again, which was
um,
fine because it was time for my producer to do his parts.
right.
Yeah, that was my second solo project,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the first project I had ever done with Soul.
Does he produce too?
Yeah, he produces and engineers and he raps.
Yeah, he's was it Sharp Star, right? Sharp Star Entertainment.
Yeah, we came up with that idea together, and that's right now that's the name of our collective,
Mm-hmm.
which is comprised of just me and him, you
Yeah.
know. And he's always like, bring other people in, and it's like, well, then you're not going to pay as much attention to me. I'm a greedy little bitch. I just want them all to myself. No, I like I like working with other people,
Mm-hmm.
like with features and stuff, but I don't know how much more often I'm going to be like doing like entire projects with other people, and I'm it's hard enough to get my own shit out there, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, I
I
always
don't
have
need like the
problems.
added drama of trying to like add an artist to the roster, and because it took a while for me and Jason to really learn how to get along with each other. And I don't.
Jason is Soul.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, they're and we had to learn how to get along with each other on the phone because we lived in separate states.
Right. How did you guys link up?
We linked up through a mutual, I guess, acquaintance you could call him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a producer in Frederick who is going to remain nameless, for which is probably better. Um, I basically paid somebody to produce and engineer a project for me,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up basically pawning me off on Jason
Mm-hmm.
Soul, um, and our relationship. We kind of bonded on the fact that this certain person kind of fucking had this tendency to flake out on both of us on a consistent basis. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah, I can tell you about him, but that's like an off-camera conversation
Yeah. Yeah, that's all good.
because I'm not gonna use my platform to talk shit about people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Um.
But yeah, you know, Jason is. I keep calling him. That's how I know him, Jason. So Jason is a more politically inclined rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how I sum it up. He raps about the world, and I rap about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't rap. I don't fucking understand politics, so I can't really rap about
Yeah. I mean, I'm not good. All my raps are about myself too.
them. Yeah, I'm a narcissist with an inferiority complex, so
Mm-hmm.
fucking music is the perfect outlet for that.
Um. Yeah, I was gonna say I have problems working with other people too. I mean, besides Suicide Squad people,
Yeah,
obviously, because I mean we're always hanging out together, and that's how we all know each other is through making music together.
right,
But
right.
yeah, when it comes to like collabs outside of that, I am terrible at that shit.
Yeah, I'm just not. It has to be the right song with the right person under the right circumstances, and and if you don't have any of the three, if you don't have all three, then 9 times out of 10 something's going to go wrong,
Right.
you know. And I'm the kind of person that I don't like recording with other people in the room. Like I need to be
Mm-hmm.
able to, because I'm gonna fuck up like 100 times,
Yeah.
and I don't need to see that look of frustration when you have to keep like erasing what I made and then re-recording, erasing it, re-recording it, and trying to give me feedback or instructions. And I'm just like, no, man. Like here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna record the fucking song and then I'm gonna send it to you. You can give me your notes, and from there I can either re-record parts of it or I can re-record the whole fucking thing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's how I'm the same way when it comes to my solo songs.
right,
Like if I'm making a song with Kevin or Tyler or Beetle or whoever it is, I'm fine recording with them. But if I'm making a solo song, I don't like having somebody else work the boards for me or anything like that. Because I
yeah,
know that's when I'm doing fucking 100 some takes, and
yeah,
I don't know, it's just easier because then I know exactly how I already want it to sound in my head.
mm-hmm,
Um, so yeah, I feel the same way when I'm doing my solo stuff. But with group stuff, we just knock songs out quick when we're doing group stuff.
I never really. I mean, there's been certain times when I've had the chance to do stuff like that, but mainly because of how much I drank, I've just kind of I wasn't taken seriously by a lot of people, and I would get in the studio and I'd be drunk as fuck, and I wouldn't be able to record. Dude, that's one thing. Like I can't record if I'm fucking faded.
Yeah.
I think there's like buzzed maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's with 100 takes, but faded, nah. Like I don't know how people do that. I don't know how people fucking pop fucking Xanax and drink lean and or a whole bottle of liquor and get coked up or whatever and fucking end up recording 5, 6 songs in an evening because I can't even get through a fucking verse, man.
Right.
Because of how verbose I am
Mm-hmm.
and how many different. I mean, I still rhyme a lot, but my lyrics are a little bit less rhymey now. But because of how rhymey they were back then, if I was slurring my words, it made it like impossible to do it.
Yeah, well, the way that you rap, your lyrics are very important.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a lyrical guy, so
yeah.
I couldn't imagine trying to do a more lyrical verse fucked up.
Oh my god. I
Like
and
being
there are
able
people
to
that
properly enunciate and stuff like that is.
clarity is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Clarity is incredibly important. And I think I've because of my drinking, like, and I don't mean to use that as an excuse. You know what I mean? I definitely didn't put the time and energy and effort into, like, those projects would be a million times better than they were if I had been allocating my 100% of my energy towards that and not partying and
Mm-hmm.
doing that on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, if you would
So
have had your full focus on it.
absolutely. But like I said, now with this project, I really when I do hit the record button, I really, really want to make sure that the it's 150% like just the best and most important thing that I've ever put out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm taking my time with it and making sure that I'm, mentally prepared, mentally focused. All the lyrics are right, and something that I'm really trying to improve on is my delivery because I've always gotten compliments on my lyrics and stuff like that, but my delivery is always left a lot to be desired, and anybody and everybody's given me that criticism,
Right.
Alex or Iodine Pete,
Mm-hmm.
you know, gives me that often. He's like, dude, your lyrics are amazing, you know, you you just lack confidence and conviction in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's part of just the more you do it, honestly, like to find, I guess, almost like the way, like different ways of using your voice, if that makes sense.
Hmm. For sure.
Because I mean, it's not even necessarily the confidence thing. I know sometimes I go to record and it just doesn't go well. Like I can just tell that I'm not hitting it right.
Yeah.
So if that happens to me, usually I'll just get the verse out and then come back to re-record it on the day when I'm feeling more confident about it.
You see, this is a problem that I have. Maybe you can relate. Is that sometimes I think I'm being confident when I'm just yelling into the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm being loud and baritone, and and it either ends up, it's just like, this is not a verse that you were meant to yell on.
Right. Right.
You don't need to be monotone, but you don't have to yell either.
Yeah, I definitely used to do that a lot, and then I still do sometimes. I feel like
Yeah.
it depends on the verse, and honestly, I fucking hate my voice when I try to project it too much. I feel like it comes out. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Uh-huh.
So like
I think
I've
we're all
found.
self-conscious of our rap voice.
Well,
Like
yeah, because
I can't remember anybody who I've ever heard saying they like the sound of their own voice.
right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, and like other people will tell me it sounds fine, and I'm like, That's why I do a lot of trying to like change my voice. Like a lot of times I'll rap in that sort of like lower voice type shit.
yeah.
And when I do
But you know
those,
how to
I
make
feel
that
like,
work for you.
yeah, it all depends
Yeah.
on the style of the beat and everything too. I feel like,
That, and you're a producer too. I feel like, because you know what goes into the engineering process, and you're able to you're able to perform what you want to hear,
right? Do you
kind of thing.
do you record like multiple vocal tracks, like layers, when you record?
Um, I have.
'Cause that's
I don't
something
usually.
that
I
I found
usually do a
helped.
verse and two or three sets of ad libs.
Yeah, something I found helped a lot. Even if you don't end up using all of them,
Mm-hmm.
if you get the first one down, sometimes I normally at least do two. Sometimes I'll do three though, and change up
Mm-hmm.
the tone of my voice on each one.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just like solo each one and pick which one you like. And then if you have two that match up and go really well together, then use two of them.
Yeah.
And then
See,
you can do ad lib on top of that too.
yeah, I did that on there was a couple songs on the Most Egregious I did that
Mm,
with, Karate in the Backyard being one of them. The song that we did together for the Villains, I think I did that on because I noticed you and Dutchy were doing that.
yeah, yeah. That's
So,
just how we always record our stuff. I don't know.
yeah.
We found that it just makes it sound like almost fuller. I think.
Hmm.
I mean, also, we're also engineering our own stuff. You're sending it to Soul, so that'd be something you'd have to talk to him about
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it.
Hmm.
It I think it works for certain songs, and for others it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And plus, like, it's a bitch to get like an entire 16 recorded the exact same way in a different tone of voice.
Right. Yeah, it can get tricky, and then sometimes you just gotta go in like, well, I have to just like chop out certain words and piece shit together.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, shit. I don't know. I don't know what else. You got anything you want to talk about?
Um, no, I feel like we've covered a lot here,
Yeah.
and just again, man, like ever since I'll bring this up and then kind of close it out with this. Just ever since I met you, you've been the sweetest guy. Super gracious, super super willing to help. Um, Always like we made a project together. You didn't charge me a fucking dime, even when I was trying to pay you for shit. And
Yeah. I don't accept money for music.
yeah,
That's just not my
thank
style.
God because I don't fucking have any. Um, I do. When I do finally record like a Shinobi status, like, because I want that to be like a four-man group, and I want you to be in that when I do record that.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
think that
awesome.
would be fucking great. I want to have you, I want to have Daryl, and I want to have my boy Michael. I want to have all three of you, or all three of you, like, and maybe like have Soul produce it and engineer it. That way, you guys just have to submit vocals.
That would be awesome. I would
Yeah,
definitely be down to do that. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, thanks, man. I
'Cause
appreciate it.
I think you're just like one of my lifelong, like, not only just a lifelong friend, but like a lifelong, like throughout you're, you've literally been present for almost every state thus far. You've been present for every part of, you were, involved in my second solo project. I think my third was directly with you.
Yeah. Yeah. What was
I
that
think
one?
the Manny Martyr
Yes. Yes.
was the follow up to Requiem for a Lush.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you were featured on my fourth solo project. I've done so many fucking projects now.
I think I was featured on
You've just
Requiem
pretty
for a
much been
Lush
involved
too.
with everything at some point. Whether it be a feature, production, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
So
I appreciate it. I
yeah.
definitely, I gotta get my shit together and send you something. I mean, we
Oh
did
man,
do last one we did was dollar and a dream.
that came out really well.
Yeah, I liked that one. That one was fun.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, I look forward to working with you in the future, and definitely do. I plan on being a regular guest on this shit. So fucking get ready.
Of course, dude. It'll
Yeah.
only get better.
Oh, of course. Next time I'll hook my mic up and I'll have my headphones on too.
You don't have to. I don't even know if I need the headphones. I'm just scared that if I play it through the speakers, it'll play into the mic. I haven't
It
actually
will.
tested that one out yet, so I don't wanna. I don't wanna fuck it up.
It will. There'd be an echo.
That's what I thought. Well, I'm not actually. I don't know how. I'm recording it through OBS. I'm not actually recording it on Zoom.
What's LBS?
OBS is like it's what like streamers use. Um, but you
Yeah, you
can
have to show me that.
yeah you can set it up like you set up different scenes where like you can have it set to like just my face cam and then I can switch scenes and it'll be like just Pro Tools open because I want to
Hmm.
do like beat making videos and stuff like that again.
Okay.
Because I know I tried that once and then I just kind of stopped doing it.
Hmm.
But this time I think I got it. I got a better setup going. So
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and
Cool.
hopefully with this YouTube channel, man, it's just gonna be everything's just gonna be on my Phil Drummond YouTube channel. I just wanna, I don't know, make
Yeah.
different types of content and shit.
Are you going to be able to upload this full video? Because I know that it's at one point you weren't able to. I don't think it was you, but like I think you have to have so many subscribers or so many views before you can upload like videos that are an hour or more.
That's a good fucking question, huh?
Yeah, that might be something to look into. But either way, you can clip it up into parts.
Yeah, yeah, I'll figure out how to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got the one I did last week with my friend Colin. That one I just gotta edit a little bit. I recorded like a intro and outro part for it. Um, so I'm gonna try to release that one this week, and then release this
Yeah.
one with you next week.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll find out within the next day or two if I can. That would kind of suck if I can't.
Well, awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Had a great time, brother.
Absolutely. I guess I'll talk at you later.
Alrighty, there it is, there it is, there it is. That's how it was, and that's how it's gonna be. That's the motherfucking man, Jimi Bones. Thank you for coming through, Jimmy. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. I'll leave links to his most recent album, Most Egregious. I'll tag his social media in the description and everything like that. Sharp Star Entertainment, everything you need to be able to find him, find his music, and everything like that. Yeah, I really hope you guys liked the interview, and thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.